Hello and welcome to Topham Chats, the show where I get to chat to various members of the Roosterteeth community and just discuss various things. My guest this week is Jenn, or LoZelda. How's it going?
It's going pretty good. How are you?
I'm feeling very good, actually. I've had a very, very productive day.
Oh, that is so not the kind of day I have had so far, so at least one of us is doing something useful.
Yeah. Cool. Let's start off with a question I want to ask everyone. Roosterteeth or Achievement Hunter?
I'm definitely probably more Roosterteeth. I got in.
Okay.
I got in on RVB. I love the podcast. I watch Achievement Hunter, but I mostly stick to the GTA videos and sometimes some of their random Let's Plays, but definitely spend more time on the Roosterteeth side.
Ah, okay. So you discovered it through Red vs. Blue?
Yep. Season 6 was just wrapping up, I think, when I got introduced to it. So.
Ah, cool. Yeah. I think I started watching it when season 4 was on, and it was a bit unwieldy and difficult to catch up with the rest of it. But season 4 because of that. I think that's why season 4 is my favourite as well. But yeah, season 6 was it. Pretty much had a whole reset anyway, didn't it?
Yeah, that was about when the reset happened. So I found it because I was trying to remember the word chalupa because we were talking about Taco Bell, and I couldn't remember the word, so I said chupa thingy, and my friend at the time, who I'm now married to, was just like, oh, he goes, does it look like a puma? And I'm like, what are you talking about a puma for? I'm talking about tacos. He's like, like a chupa thingy, and I had no idea what he was saying. So he ran and got his laptop and had to show me the chupa thingy episode. And then I powered through all 5 seasons and up through season 6 and finished season 6 as the finale was being released. So.
Awesome. Just, it's such a good time to get into it as well.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's like, oh, God, there's so many things going on. Cool. So I see you around the Roosterteeth side a lot. You post a lot of, I want to say contentious journals, but they're really issues that should be raised and pointed out.
I don't have a filter, so it's like it's one of those things that most people think. I'm just like, screw it, I'm gonna say it out loud. Somebody's got to. This needs to be a discussion, and so that's where journal topics like boobs come from.
Yeah, something definitely people need to weigh in on. Or there needs to be a seed that starts a huge discussion, and you always seem to be great at starting those discussions.
Right. I figure that's my goal and my role in life is just to be the person who starts the conversations that nobody really wants to have that need to happen.
Yeah, definitely. There's some things I wanted to talk about, but I'm sure we'll get to them in a bit.
All right.
Because right now I don't have them in mind.
Oh, no.
Which is great. Oh, well. So, what do you do day to day?
Day to day, so I've been switching jobs. I don't want to say like a lot, but I've gone through a wide variety of things. Currently, I actually work for a medical device company, and I'm a regulatory affairs rep. So what that means is every time for certain products that we get, if a doctor says this doesn't work right anymore, I have to figure out what happened. Was it a chemical failure or a physical failure? Do the investigation, write a report, figure out could it hurt somebody? Did it already hurt somebody? All that fun stuff, and then report it to the FDA. And if the FDA shows up and says, hey, we don't like this, I have to answer to them. And I'm saying FDA, it's actually, we do a lot of international stuff. It's every country's version of the FDA. So TUV and all that, I answer to all of them, which is a little terrifying.
Yeah, I can imagine it is. Yeah, regulation can be a massive pain.
Oh, yeah.
We do a lot of, like, the company I work in, we do fertilizers, and we've got to meet the regulations for fertilizers. Things we're just shipping over to Brazil now, we need to make sure that they meet the minimum contents, and it's just like it's huge pain to get everything done, but it has to be like that because if not, there can be some serious issues.
Oh yeah, I totally get it. It's one of those things that's really weird, though, to see how different every country's kind of regulations and stuff are. It's like, I feel like this should be kind of a universal thing, what's okay and what's not okay, but it's not. It's not anywhere close.
They're slowly getting there with, like, the regulation in terms of labeling and things like that. But
no, baby steps.
Yeah, definitely. Crazy. So, how did you get into that job? Like, what kind of things have you done previously What kind of sciencey things?
So I have degrees in chemistry and physics, so I do a lot of technical stuff. So previously I was a pharmaceutical chemist, working on method development and validation. So that was a lot of figuring out, okay, we've got a new drug. How do we make sure it's actually safe as far as a chemical standpoint goes? None of the clinical stuff, that was on somebody else. But just making sure the manufacturing and stuff was up to snuff and wasn't doing anything terrible. And then before that, I was actually a neutrino physicist. So I sound really snooty when I have this list of jobs that I've had.
It's an awesome list of jobs.
I know, it is pretty fantastic. So, but that one was a lot of fun. It was a neutrino physicist thing, but I also did a lot of the chemical work for it too, building neutrino and dark matter detectors. So, yeah, that's where I've been.
Sounds absolutely fascinating. Cool. So let's go back towards Roosterteeth. The convention RTX just happened.
Yes.
How was it for you?
It was a lot of fun. I was one of the guardians. I was one of the personal assistants, and it was so much fun, but it was so exhausting and so draining. And it's one of those things that I had a blast, but if you asked me anything about the convention itself, I can't tell you anything about it. I had people going, "Oh, did you see the Ruby game? Or did you see the tower? Did you see Achievement City?" I'm like, I knew the Ruby game was on the floor because I saw the sign being hung during setup on Thursday. That's it. I spent so little time on the exhibition floor, I did not even notice the Tower of Pimps was out there. And it's not like that's small. That's like several meters high. Nope, had no idea it was there. So anything that was behind black curtains or was a bar, I was very familiar with. But anything outside of that, I didn't really see anything. But I had a lot of fun with the rest of my Guardian team, both my actual PA team and like the rest of the Guardians. It's one of those things that none of us can really find the words to describe what the experience of being a Guardian at RTX is like. It's fun, but you can't really explain why it's fun. It's like torturous and kind of masochistic, but it's fun in a really weird like family camaraderie kind of way.
The reward of it is just way greater than the
right.
The I don't know, the challenging parts of it can be.
Exactly.
I guess I wasn't there. I did not do anything like that. Who were you PAing for?
I ended up being Michael's PA. That was the final word. I got shifted around a lot. We all had a couple different assignments leading up to RTX, and Wednesday during the bag stuffing, there was a group of us that showed up to help stuff all the swag bags, and my team leads were like, "Hey, you're actually going to be with Michael now," and I went, "Sweet." So I got to be with him and Lindsay a lot for a lot of the weekend. It's not something where you get to, even as a PA, you're assigned to somebody, but you're not like hanging out with them all weekend. It was like, are you fed? Are you hydrated? Do you need anything? Okay, you're good. We're where we need to be. I'm going to go over here, and if you need anything, yell at me, and otherwise, I'm going to let you do your own thing. But it was still really cool to just the conversations we could have in hallways, getting to places, and Michael's actually a really great dude. We had a lot of fun talking. And it was really cool to hang out essentially with Lindsay as well. She was just so sweet. She was really funny. Anytime she needed anything, she like felt really bad asking for it. She's like, "I'm really sorry. I know you're really busy, but can you like do this thing for me?" We're like, "Yeah, of course." She goes, "I'm really sorry." It's like, "Don't be sorry. That's literally the reason I am here. It's okay. It's fine. If you need a piece of pizza, it's not a big deal."
Wicked. You are a member of the Forum Thread podcast, if I'm not mistaken.
I am. I have my name on it now and everything. It's great.
Oh, wicked. Did you get to meet up with any of the people that were there, that are RTX?
We got to, actually, a lot of us got to meet up. There was what I would call our podcast dad, Mr. Fusion, was not there, which made us all very sad. But a lot of the rest of the kind of regular crew of it, a lot of them actually stayed together. They were all in a hotel room together. But I did get to see them a little bit. We had, some of us grabbed a quick lunch on, I think it was Thursday during pre-registration. And then I saw who was left on Sunday night after the convention closed, and we all had dinner together. So it was really cool to be able to like put actual faces with the voices that I've talked to for the last 5 months. So it's always kind of weird when you meet somebody where you've heard their voice a lot, but you've never seen their face. And it's like, it's not like I'm good at imagining faces, but I was like, some of this is just not what I expected when I met people. Like, it just didn't feel like it fit, but there they are talking, and I recognize the voice. I'm like, oh, you're TJ and Lee, and you're Dark One Dre. And it's like, okay, like, these are people. They're actual people.
Yeah, I just can't wait to meet more people. I think I'm going to the RVB UK event in a couple of weeks.
Oh, awesome.
And I just absolutely can't wait to meet everyone there. But I've already met a few people at like other events this year, and it's just like so awesome to just be like, you're a person and you exist. Like, oh god. Yeah. So, any wacky hijinks or shenanigans that happened at RTX that you were involved with or encountered?
Let's see, I'm trying to think of actual shenanigans. So there was the Friday night fire alarm, which was really exciting. I don't know how much you know about that.
I've heard about it, but don't really know much about it other than a fire alarm was pulled, but it was a bomb threat or something like that? So here's what happened, and here's how the story got twisted. So it was Friday, it was about 6:15. The hall was technically closed. It was just people who were like left over from panels and like were left over in lines for signings and things like that. And a bunch of guardians, but there was still a lot of people in the building, but nothing was actually really going on. And the fire alarm started going off. So we had to evacuate everybody, and I think at that point that means we put about 10,000 people out on the streets all at the same time. So it was kind of a cluttered mess. And so a lot of the guardians, it was one of those things that we had a safety orientation to say, this is what you need to do if these various alarms go off. But you can only prepare for it so much. I mean, you're never really prepared to have 10,000 people pour out onto the streets. But I think we all did a really good job. It was like we were keeping roads clear so that way cars could go by. We're trying to like get people backed away where they need to be. Getting all the staff out to where they need to be to their cars without getting trampled in a group of people. So the fire alarm went off, and because they did not know what tripped the fire alarm, every kind of emergency personnel had to show up. So we had police, we had fire, we had ambulance, and they had to have a bomb squad show up. And news crews showed up and just saw the bomb squad car and went, it must be a bomb threat. And that's what they started reporting. Ah, interesting.
So it's one of those things that they still are saying they don't know exactly what did it. It very well could have been that someone was turned away from a line, an attendee was mad about it and just went, fine, fuck it, and, pulled the alarm. So it could be that. It could have been just about anything. So we don't actually know at this point exactly what it was, but that's where the whole bomb threat thing came from, is that a bomb squad had to show up because they didn't know what was going on. And news crews were like, oh my God, that's a thing. Let's point at that and report on that. So that's how that got kind of blown out of proportion.
Fair enough. Yep. That's, because the report I saw was, obviously bomb squad, but, well, that's fine. So you did some awesome things last year, as far as I'm aware, of your sewing project, and you did the Memory is the Key backpack, was it?
Yep, I did that. That was a personal thing. That was just for me. But lots of people liked it, apparently, so...
Oh, I saw it. I think that's... I saw pictures of it, and I was like, that's really, really awesome. So I was wanted to just, get involved and be like, oh, that's really cool, blah 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 blah. Say words about that as well. You've been working on another one as well, haven't you, recently?
Yeah, so I had a lot of people who liked the Memory is the Key one, and I had a lot of people asking if I would do a commission for them or if I would ever make any other ones. And my general line is no, just because they take so long. All the graphics are all hand embroidered, so that Memory is the Key one, that was about 48 to 50 hours of just embroidery. And your hands get tired after a while. So I had someone from Roosterteeth ask me if I would make one, and you don't say no to Roosterteeth. So I made one for that person. And then I decided with Ruby coming out, I really liked the emblems for the girls. And I was like, well, I could make a backpack out of that. So I actually made another backpack, made it Ruby-based, and I submitted it to the RT SideQuest charity auction they did on Thursday before RTX. So that got donated for people to possibly bid on and win. So, and I actually know the people who won it. I was really excited. I was like, oh, my friends bought it. So that was really
awesome. Cool. Cool. So you are relatively skilled at the artsy kind of things as well. Yes.
Relatively. I would never consider myself creative, but I would maybe venture to use the word artistic. I cannot come up with original things. But if you give me a design, I can repurpose the crap out of it and make it awesome other places. So that's kind of my thing. I'm good at visualizing how to turn one thing into something else.
Yeah, I totally understand that. That's one of the things I can do, but it's one of those things that comes over time if you want to like really, really work on something and try and get something novel. Like I play guitar and I'm just like, oh yeah, sometimes I can pick it up and I'd want to learn songs, but it took me a long, long time to be able to write music as it should be, and something novel, new, and doesn't sound horrendously like someone else has written it.
Yeah.
Crazy. Another thing we kind of have in common is that we both enjoy baking. So, what is the most recent thing you've baked?
The most recent thing I baked, what was it? My cousin lives nearby and she graduated from high school and they were doing a graduation party. And she really enjoys, there's some cupcakes that I make, and so they asked if I could make some of these. So they're black bottom cupcakes. They're like a dark chocolate cupcake with like a cream cheese, like cheesecakey filling in the middle. And then I made a cream cheese frosting and tinted it pink because she loves pink, and put that on top. So it was not too fancy, but it was super tasty.
Cool. I can't wait to bake again. Like, since I moved, I just don't have any baking equipment.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I really want to bake. I really want to make cookies. I want to make cheesecake. I want to make anything that's delicious. But
I am dying to make a cheesecake. I have the recipe ready to go. I just have to find an excuse to do it because I can't make a whole cheesecake when it's just me and my husband in the house, because we should not be eating a half a cheesecake apiece. We're both trying to do a diet thing. That is not going to be good.
Crazy. So have you got any events coming up that would require a cheesecake for, say, RT Michigan?
I'm trying to figure that out. I'm trying to like make events so that way I can make a cheesecake. The next thing we have coming for RT Michigan is at another restaurant, so I probably can't be like bringing a cheesecake into that, but I'm working on trying to figure out what the next gathering might be, and as long as it's somewhere that's not an official business that, you know, you can't bring food into, I will probably make my cheesecake in bar form, so I could be like, look, I made a thing, eat it, it's delicious, because I shouldn't eat the whole thing, so please take it.
Wicked. So how is RT Michigan going?
I feel like it's going really, really well. We did an event right before RTX. It was kind of a suggestion from the group that they wanted to do something both for the people who couldn't go to kind of be able to celebrate Roosterteeth being kick-ass, and for the people who were going to kind of get to know each other's faces, be like, okay, well, you're going to be there, I'm going to be there too. It's awesome. Since I don't know anybody else there, we should buddy up and walk around places together so we're not in a strange city all by ourselves. So we couldn't figure out a good place to do it. There were too many concerns over it being the end of kind of the school year around here, and so people were concerned about money and travel and all that kind of stuff. So I just said, forget it. We'll just do it at my house. So I put out an open invitation to the RT Michigan group. We ended up with about 30 to 35 people showing up at my house and hanging out for a couple hours playing Cards Against Humanity. We did it potluck style, so everyone just brought a side dish and called it good there. And that was a lot of fun. And it was also kind of the first time we've had that many people show up to something. And for me, that was kind of the turning point to say, okay, we've reached kind of the size now where we're actually one of the formidable groups that are starting to show up for regional things at RT. And so I'm working with some of the other people who run big groups like Toronto Conventional. I'm talking to Lori, and I'm talking to Noobs and people who do events where you have to have tickets and actually go to actual venues. And I'm starting to work out how we can start doing that thing too. So we can turn into one of those groups that you're like, oh yeah, RT Minnesota and Toronto Conventional and RT Michigan. Obviously, it's all the cold places that have this under control. Cold is the way to go.
Apparently so.
Yeah.
God, yeah. So your group seems to be doing really well at the moment.
Yeah.
Are you ahead of that group?
Yeah, I am the head of it. We just broke 300 members like yesterday. I was so excited. I picked it up shortly after RTX last year. It was a group that already existed, but it hadn't done anything for like the last post. It was like 6 months old. Nobody was really doing it. So I emailed the group owner and was like, hey, can I have admin powers? Because I want to like make this a thing. So he is still technically one of the admins. He's still technically there. I haven't seen him in a long time, so I don't actually even know if he's on Rooster Teeth anymore. But as far as running it goes, it is me right now, working on trying to get myself some help. Because like I said, we've reached that kind of size where things need to start changing, and there's only so much I can do on my own because I have not perfected cloning technology yet. So working on getting myself some help. I've kind of put out a call for anybody who's interested in becoming an admin to kind of weed out who would want to do it and who would be good at it and who's got the time for it. And it's really a fine balance of those three things that I need to be able to make us one of those big groups.
Oh, wicked. It's definitely nice to have community actually engaged, because that's something that it can be a bit of a problem.
Definitely. It's very a huge thing to have, and it's a very helpful thing to have, and it's one of those things that snowballs very quickly. As soon as you get a little bit of engagement, they kind of spread out the feelers a little bit more, and they pull people in, and then those pull people in, and so you can end up with a really great thing, but it's getting that initial foothold into the engagement that's really the tough part. So I was very excited when it finally started. You know, I was hosting game nights, and I was by myself for a couple of them, and I finally had 2 other people show up to one, and it just kind of spidered out from there, and we picked up really quickly after that, and that was a really exciting and really cool thing to see.
Oh, wicked. So is the group purely on the Roosterteeth site, or have you branched out to other platforms of social media?
Right now, it's still just on Roosterteeth. We've talked about trying to do something on like Facebook, but since it's just me for right now, I figured the more concentrated I can make it, so that way I'm not having to check, is the information here? Is the information here? Is it everywhere that it needs to be? It's easier to keep control of. We do have a Twitter, just because I figured that's also easy to like shoot out quick info things, so that's really easy to keep track of because I can just keep that logged in on my phone. So that's not too hard to keep track of. But maybe at some point we'll do a Facebook thing. I don't actually even use Facebook all that much anymore, so that's the other reason I'm like really resistant to that idea, because I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna have to actually like go on Facebook and do things now when I don't want to. But we'll see. We're definitely reaching a size kind of thing where going out to other media platforms is starting to become a possible necessity.
Yeah, that's something that I've seen as well. Like, I went to an event in London, and the fact that, I don't know, 90% of the people that were there at the meetups weren't people that were on the Roosterteeth site just made me feel a bit, not insecure, just unhappy that that I wouldn't be able to find them afterwards, because I also don't use Facebook, and Facebook's one of those social media platforms where they don't like, people don't like adding you if they haven't met you before or you're not an actual friend of theirs. Mm-hmm. Whereas the Roosterteeth site's very open and welcoming to anyone that is from like anywhere at all, which is one of the benefits of it, depending on like which people you talk to, I guess.
Yeah, I definitely agreed. It's a lot easier to be friends with somebody on the Roosterteeth site without having actually met them, because of the way the community works, it really is a community, and you can get to know someone to that kind of degree where you're like, I've not met you, but I feel like I know you and we're friends. So yeah, we can be buddies on here.
Definitely. Speaking of being buddies, do you remember what I got you for Christmas last year?
Yes, I did. I was so excited because you're a wonderful human being.
I know, right?
I was so pumped. I was so confused when I saw the package on my porch. I should explain this for anybody else who's like, what the hell are they talking about? When Griff Balls went on sale for the very last time last year, I, through a series of unfortunate events, ended up missing out on the deadline to be able to get one. They sold out before I could actually do it. And I know some people were like, they were on sale for a couple days. How'd you do it? Trust me, there was a fiasco and a half, and I missed it. And I was super duper depressed, and I made some kind of comment about it, I think on Twitter. And Mr. Topham here is a lovely gentleman and gifted me one when they became available in the UK store. Shortly after Christmas, I got home, and there was a really oddly shaped package on my front porch, and I'm like, what? Someone sent me a basketball. I don't understand what's happening. And then it said it was from Royal Mail. I'm like, who is sending me stuff from across the ocean? I have no idea. And he had sent me a Griff ball with a really nice card about it, and I got like, I'm like doing like the girly girl scream thing, and my husband's like, what is going on? I'm like, Topham sent me a Griff ball, and he's like, who sent you a Griff ball? Like, one of my Roosterteeth friends. He's like, people on the internet are sending you things across the ocean. I go, yeah, isn't it awesome? And at that point in time, I think that was when he first was like, this is a real thing. There's actual people who are like with real friendships and stuff. And now he gets it because I'm on my computer talking to people all the time. But it was really funny. It was so awesome. And I know I said thank you a million times, but now that I'm actually getting a voice-to-voice conversation, I'm going to say thank you again 7 months later, because that was just so awesome of you to do.
Yeah, it was really rewarding for me. I was just like, oh my god, I feel like part of the community. I feel like I've contributed. And there was also Secret Santas going on, and gifts were just flying around everywhere. And I felt it was a really great time for me in the community, as well as everyone else just contributing and actually being nice to everyone over a holiday time. Whereas some people I know could have been a bit lonely and things like that, but getting involved in the Secret Santa really upped their mood, and it was just a general awesome feeling from the community at that time.
Yeah. I'm already excited to do Secret Santa again this year. I was one of the people who helped kind of put that together and run it for Canada and the US is kind of where I hung out, and that was insane to see so many people interested in doing that. I think we had 200 people across the world ended up doing it, and that was the first year. So I'm thinking we're definitely going to need some help for this year, because I can only expect it to get bigger. But it was so cool to see, and I can't wait to see what happens with it this year.
Yeah, it was such a good thing to be a part of, I felt, for sure. Oh, where has my brain gone? No. Okay. Are there any other projects you're working on at the moment? You've got your YouTube channel. What are you doing or working on towards that?
So with the YouTube channel, that got really crazy right before RTX, because one of the other things I made for the charity auction was an apron that was inspired by Ruby's combat skirt outfit, or battle skirt, or whatever she called it. I can't remember anymore. But I was making that, and I made a tutorial video for it, and I was doing game videos, and so I'm trying to scale it back a little bit to get to a more reasonable level of activity. So I'm doing full plays. I just started a new game yesterday. I'm expecting that first video will come out probably in about a week. Come out on Saturday. So I've started some of that, and I'm going to start, fingers crossed, a new cosplay soon, and I'm considering making some videos about some of the parts of that process. So we'll see how that goes. I vowed I would never make tutorial videos ever again after the adventure that was the apron, but I'm going to be working on some stuff that I think is really cool, so I kind of feel like I should show people. So we'll see. But that's what's going on with that. New cosplay, potentially, hopefully, in the planning stages of that now. But that's it. I'm kind of low-key on the project side of things for the moment.
Ah, cool. So you've got your YouTube channel, and one time in the past, as a group, we tried to record a Minecraft Let's Play.
Yeah,
and that didn't go so well.
Nope.
After it was recorded, it didn't go so well.
The whole day was just cursed. It was not good.
It wasn't the best at all. Are you thinking of doing anything along those lines again, or
nope?
Not really.
I think I learned my lesson. It was one of those things, and some of it was beyond anybody's control. We had crashed feeds. We had upload issues, we had download issues, we had synced audio issues. Like, it was literally nothing about that worked. We had a bunch of fun during it, but I think it was just was not supposed to work. The universe was against us, and after playing with my software some more, I think if it had worked, trying to edit all those feeds would have been a lot more difficult than I anticipated. So it was a nice idea, but I don't think I will be doing anything more than like a 2-player thing ever. At least not with the current iteration of software that I have. I'll save my large party things just for goofing around and laughing and stuff, and not trying to
game nights and just having fun.
Exactly.
Cool. Right, let's start wrapping up. Is there anything you want to promote while you are on?
Oh, well, I mean, if you're giving me the opportunity, I'm certainly not going to turn it down.
Of course.
So I do a lot of posts on the Roosterteeth site. Most of them, even if they are serious, tend to have a funny flair to them. I like to think of myself as a comedian. So if you want to watch me on the Roosterteeth site, as Topham said at the beginning, I am LoZelda, LoZelda. Follow me on there and stuff, because I say things. And I also say funny things on Twitter, which is MIGamerGirl. And what else do I do? Let's see. If you're in Michigan or near Michigan in the United States, you should join the Michigan group. And we don't discriminate. We've got people... I live about an hour from Indiana. People from Indiana have wanted to come up before. That's totally fine. I'm not going to say you can't because you don't happen to live within our borders. So check that out. Check out the RT Secret Santa group and watch that, because that will be kicking up probably about in October. And I have a YouTube channel. I am the Mad Queen on YouTube. So, yes, it is a joke on Ryan being the Mad King. I earned that nickname from the RT Michigan group during a Minecraft Let's Play. It's a long story, but it's a very fitting title, I will tell you that much. So, the Mad Queen on YouTube. Check that out. I do tutorial videos, I do game videos, I do vloggy videos. I kind of cover anything that pops in my head ends up on that channel. So yeah, you should look at it, because I would love you forever in a non-creepy way if you did that.
Excellent. Thank you very much again, Jen, for being my guest.
Oh, thank you for having me. I'm so excited that I had my voice back for it, first of all, and that I actually got to talk to you.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay. Thanks very much for listening. Goodbye.
Bye.